All right, this is the last stream of this week. All right, we've got a couple left in this first one. White Flare. I swear, if I lay out this and then a different break fills, I'm gonna laugh. It won't be that big of a deal, but had to jump in when you saw, well, happy you jumped in then. They will not be here forever. We got a God Pack out of the Black Bolt boxes, I think, or yeah. So White Flare, we have yet to see one. You don't like to get into the Japan stuff too much because of interest? You could say that. You could definitely say that, Dizzy. The opportunity came up to just grab a few of these boxes. So Nick grabbed them. And here we are. You've always liked both. The art still looks good. I'm happy to open whatever. It's just the reason why I don't do it more often is because I've already seen this pattern before. Before this gets too cold and disgusting. Cheers. All right, first one is full. Let's get opening. Yeah, for sure. All right. So I won't be live tomorrow because it's the 4th. So this is our Friday. 2 more breaks are on the website. Let's try to get those filled. I feel like I did the card trick there and it didn't do anything. There we go. Electric. As a general thing that I do like is the detail on whenever it's a Master Ball rare. I think we should definitely have that type of detail in that type of holo. The thing I'm not too fond of is the amount of Illustrator rares. If there's an overabundance of Illustrator rares, and it seems like they're more abundant than regular EXs or Vs or whatever, I feel like they kind of lose their magic, so to speak. I feel like, I don't know, is it more expensive? Like, I'd like to know, is it more expensive to make a textured card? Probably. But, like, if that's what you're doing to save money, just don't make a card. Because, like, I'm not against Illustrator rares in general, but they shouldn't be treated like they're a full art gold or anything, because they're not. But I would be curious to know if like that's the reasoning behind it. An overabundance of Illustrator rares because making the textured hits are more expensive. I feel like it shouldn't be or wouldn't be, but it might play a part in that decision making. I'm not even sure entirely what's in these Japanese sets. I've just been enjoying them along with you guys. Full Art Fire. Yes, I think, yeah. Probably going to be switching it up again next week. So if you guys want in on these Japanese sets, I would say maybe get in on them today, because I don't know if I'm going to put these back in next week. We'll see. That's a pretty disgusting hit for colorless. Reminds me of the DCE, dude. Congrats on that. RPG, those, to be perfectly honest, they sound like they don't really form their own opinions, but they read other people's opinions, like on Reddit and stuff, and then they become that person. Because how could you not love... I like any textured rarity that is something more than just an Illustrator rare. Which is, I know, crazy to say. Oh, did the card trick wrong? You miss rainbow rares? Same. Low key, dude, I have a hunch now that it costs more to make textured cards, so they're trying to push Illustrator rare so it's cheaper to make the cards. It might not be like a crazy huge factor in it, but it might be. Oh, they discontinued rainbows with sun and moon, dude. Every sun and moon set after that was no rainbows. Okay, alt right off the bat for fighting. Yeah, I mean, it can be easy. Oh my gosh. Trainer, steel, and electric. That's the one thing that we could take from the Japanese sets is make a bunch of mini Master Balls with more detail. I think that'd be really sick. Eliminating the rainbow rarity without replacing it, though, is not good. Because they didn't replace it. I did the cartridge wrong again. So we just lost a rarity, pretty much. Gold is the highest rarity with nothing. It's full art gold. It used to be full art Piper gold. Nope, hold on. Not letting the air kick on and stay on while I'm live. I've been in like serious battle with the smart thermostat because I feel like whenever I set it to something, it just changes on its own. And it's kind of driving me nuts. I'm not going to lie to you guys. At one point, it's smart, it knows better. It doesn't. At one point, dude, I just took it off the wall. If you're not going to listen, you're just not going to function. But it keeps like, I don't know why it does that. Like I'll set it to like be like don't turn on, and then in like 30 minutes it'll automatically just turn itself on again. The Rogan Rolla. Looks like an army of them. Be kind of terrifying. That would annoy you for sure. It is annoying. Speaking of which, I kind of want to have like the AC checked because we had a couple of rough hot weeks that probably did a number on it, and I'd like a nice little tune-up before it explodes again. Because the blower motor, like a couple of years back, just imploded on itself. It was probably like the loudest thing I ever heard in the house. I was like, oh, that sounds expensive. As soon as I heard like metal grinding, you're surprised yours works still? Florida is disgusting with heat. Yeah. I'm surprised that like a lot of places, like state-wise, just don't have it all together. I don't know how they live, to be honest. Oh. I already have Raichus, but I'm going to catch everyone that pops up. Plus, I already got the shiny Gardevoir. It's a nice colorless hit. Back to back. Keldeo. Is Keldeo a legendary in the games? I feel like I'd never played this era. Or is it just a standard? Oh, you never played it before? It's really, really good. You can battle with it. It'll always keep track of your Pokemon. It'll keep your profile the same across multiple streams, because I have it running on the gaming channel too. You can battle. Keldeo was a 4th for the trio set. So it was a legendary, kind of. Another horrifying Pokemon that'll just snatch you in the forest and just eat you. Just a forest sea urchin. A little less than a boss legendary. Gotcha. And you can get shinies RPG. I think it's 1 in... I forgot what the odds were in this specific game. I think it's around 1 in 1,000. Ooh. Nice little Reshiram. This is the queen jellyfish from SpongeBob. Or the King Bomb. Let's be honest, that looks like King Bomb from Super Mario 64. It looks like a mustache. The best first boss fight in any game. Yeah, we shall see. Patrat. Not bad. And each type gets the Pokeball rare and all the hollows, obviously. I'm just leaving him off camera because I don't want to add 30 minutes to the break for no reason. Another solid break. I think we got 2 more breaks on the website. I did it for the first break on like Monday. And then after I realized that like there's a Pokeball rare in every single one, I was like, all right, we're not doing this anymore. All right, how are we looking for the next 2, ladies and gentlemen? Might be the last stream with Japanese sets. Gotcha. I'll wait a little bit to see if these next 2 fill. All right, another spot got taken in 2. I think 3 might be full. Yep, 3 is full. Two will be the last break of this evening, more than likely. All right, we're skipping to 3. We'll go back to 2 when it fills. All right, to number 3 we go. Yes, happy 3rd. Water pops off, though. All right, this one is Black Bolt. Gotcha. Yes. It's that rare. So we got really lucky even seeing it. Destined Rivals has been in every break, too, since release. All right, good luck, everybody. Yeah, it's not easy to pull. And the fact that people didn't even realize that there was a release because it was already sold out everywhere should tell you how crazy that card is going to go up over time. appear that Goliath just had spontaneous Tourette's there. He barked at nothing. Emboar. I was watching and reading today about, I guess Microsoft cleaned up house today. Just trimmed the absolute fat from everything. I think there was like over 9,000 employees laid off. Probably a smart move, if it's not already pretty up in value. That's an alt Zoroark. That is a very, very good hit. Mark. Well done. But yeah, they just... I think one of the things that caused them to do that was like one of the studios, a game was in production for like 5+ years and they weren't making any progress. And I think Microsoft, like, they were like, okay, we need to rethink everything now. Because these companies are just not... These employees aren't... however it's structured, it's just not cutting it. And other smaller like companies are pushing out actual good games in a fraction of that time. But like, I guess their reasoning was to cut out all the middle management to like increase agility of the company, which I think is smart. If it ends up us just having better games and better management over time. Well, people are already starting with the fireworks tonight. It's a nice Illustrator rare for grass. Yeah. And Dizzy, we were just talking about this. I probably am not going to buy it. I have not seen one good selling point yet. I don't think the new Mario Kart is going to do it for me. I think this has been their most expensive console ever, if I'm not mistaken. GameCube was more affordable than all the other consoles. So were the games. We learned that the Switch 1, even on release, was like $300 cheaper. I don't know. The thing of this new console, what it seems to me, like as an individual, is just a reason to charge people to like play whatever games they have for the regular Switch. I haven't really seen any. Like, if they had the capabilities to make that good of a Mario Kart, why didn't they do it on the regular Switch? Why were we stuck with the same Mario Kart that we had since the Wii U? So you're going to put it behind the paywall of getting another console? I don't know. That kind of rubs me the wrong way. That Machamp. I haven't seen that card in a while. What it tells me, Dizzy, is they had that game ready for the regular Switch, and they're like, hold up. Let's make a new Switch, and that's how you have to play it. Well, apparently you could play the older Pokemon games on the newer system for free at the moment, but like that's not true across the board for like all the games. I've seen like little backlashes here and there about greediness from Nintendo, but this one seems to be like the biggest one. That's an alt Moltres for fire. Mark, you've gotten 2 alts this break. You bought out the right break, my guy. That might be the second one that I've pulled. Dude, I'm getting more and more of these print errors. You see this? It's a strip of just like where the hollow is broken apart. We had one yesterday too. It's an interesting error. Switch 2 just doesn't seem right. Tetsnick bought it. I think I know another couple people that bought it, but there's putting Mario Kart behind it as the lack of better words bait to buy it is not enough for me. Like, it's just not. They didn't release another Mario Kart for the entirety of the Switch. I'm surprised that hasn't come up. Like, oh, you're going to release it behind a new system, even though you probably had this ready for the regular Switch. Has enough time passed for them to make another console? Because it came out like what? Right before COVID? Probably like 2018, 2019? I mean, I guess you could make the argument that it doesn't feel like it's been long enough, in my opinion. It's probably a 2017 or 2018, to be honest. We can ask ChatGPT. Exclamation point, ChatGPT. The problem is they're going to be the last console left, and they're going to feel like they can charge whatever they want when that happens. And they're already getting up there pretty much. Oh, full art for electric. Michael. Sorry for the firework noise. Someone is just going ham right now. Happy I didn't go live tomorrow. I don't know if you guys can hear. You probably can hear a little bit of it. John said fireworks are expensive and overrated. I agree with you. Best time to buy fireworks is the day after the 4th, though. Then it's, you could buy the whole store for like $20. You got your firework. What you got? Real man. You got some mortars. When I was younger and I got fireworks, we had like one of those like play sets in the backyard with like the slide and everything. And one of them was a tube slide, and we shot the mortar up the tube slide. Made my parents really happy. How that one has the Pokemon stepping into the footprint. I must have passed it already. Oh, yeah. We'll see how long it takes for the cops to come. The cops pretty much don't care up here. Everyone's pretty chill. Colorless. I personally don't like care either. I just, if there's a time to set off fireworks, like this is the time. Let people do it. Yeah, but fire danger becomes an issue if you're an idiot. Just don't be an idiot. Double water. Don't shoot your fireworks into a very dry forest. Go to a parking lot. Do it in the street. That's a Master Ball. That doesn't account for accidents. I mean, you can minimize accidents to pretty near zero just by not being an idiot. Like, accidents do happen, but you can eliminate a lot of them by just, don't be stupid. There are a lot of idiots. That is true. It's very true. We know this, yeah. I intend to just be, not making dumb decisions, which is crazy. I know. Another water and electric.
Good night.
Hold on 1 second. right. I noticed another thing, real man. Whenever I queue up for Rocket League, it's if you queue up, like, I know school's out now, but like if you queue up on the weekend is the worst time. That's like when all the horrible players queue. And after a certain hour, when people get home. Just the numbskulls get home who just ball chase and just ram into you. And I don't know why, real man, but every time there's a Twitch TV handle as a teammate, they're always the worst player I think I've ever played with. I don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why, because then they just stay on offense the whole time and they want to think that they're being entertaining, but they're not. Because we lose then. Ooh. Okay. Gorgeous full art for Psychic. And a Victini. I'm not too sure what this, like, little hashed thing is. I thought it was a road, but this is clearly water, so I don't know what that is. Is that supposed to be the reflection of the sun? Yeah, but it's like broken up in spots where it doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm not gonna delve too much into that because it just doesn't make sense. I thought it was like a smudge on the card for a second. Apparently artists no longer know how to, draw stuff in perspective anymore. I feel like I learned that in grade school. And I don't even draw. The reflection wouldn't be broken up because it would be a picture of this. I'm not going to get into it. The shadow would have to be from behind you. That's very exciting. It's a gorgeous card. All right, break number 2 has 5 left. Let's try to get this last one filled. That'll be the last one of this evening, and that'll be it. See you, Chucky. See if we can get this last one filled. Otherwise, that'll be Monday. White flare. For sure. All right, 3 left. Be the last one of this evening. 3 left. I'm lining her up right now. We haven't seen a God Pack out of White Flare yet. You bought 3, but it doesn't look like it went through. I don't see any order for 3. It won't take money until it goes through. That is for sure. It's not going to take money and not show me. Wow, that's crispy. That's like right before freezing. Now it went through. think we're full now. Yep. Good stuff, James. All right, let's get this open. Mark, those alts last break were nuts. This is break 2, sorry. Changing the number right now. Went into autopilot with just progressing the number once forward. All good, dude. You're always welcome to hang out in here, even if you're, not jumping in. What games you been playing lately, Jamerson? I think you were one of the people that said, or you played WoW. After I got my rank 14 weapons, I was like, I raided a couple times, got like the heart from ZG, and I was like, I don't care about this anymore. Death Stranding 2 recently when you can. Nice. That was a grind that I just did just to say that I did it. Took me like an hour to form a group to hard res the read, and I was paying the healers. Got it the first try. Colorless full art, first hit. Dang. I got back on the Sea of Thieves train, which has been fun. I saw that they added like 2 new Megalodons and a lot more stuff for like the fishing faction that didn't involve fishing, and I was like, alright, I'm gonna do that. And then Rocket League and Balatro. I did like the Black Sea of Thieves is a good time. It's been a very long time since I played. It's a pretty different game now. What's interesting to me is I pretty much like 99% of the time play solo in that game, and I can hold my own very well. I think the population of people that just play solo have disappeared. I haven't run into another solo player. I can't even tell you the last time. Because all my encounters as of late are 2 or more people. You've never done it solo? If you can master the game solo, you become a different level of player in my eyes. And I would say that I've definitely mastered it solo. Because even if I sink, I never am in a compromising position where I'm losing anything. Yeah, that's... You could actually solo a bigger ship, but I wouldn't recommend it. I've done it before. The couple times I've done it, I did the 3-man ship solo. And it's usually like when I just get the boat ready and load up before friends log on and they can join on me and we don't have to like start from scratch. The problem is you have to do the sail raising, you have to do the steering, you have to do the repairing, the firing. In a bigger boat, it becomes a lot more difficult to manage. I can solo pilot the sloop, the small boat, like with my eyes closed, and I've pretty much mastered it. But doing it on a 3-man ship, where you got to control 2 sails, is impossible. The distance needed to travel. But here's the thing. The trade-off is the bigger boats are faster. So if you are solo and you're proficient enough to get by, any smaller boat is going to be disinterested in going after you because they're going to think you're 3 people. And you're going to get everywhere quicker. I've done it before where like I've done an entire session solo with a 3-man ship. It is more intensive, but you do get places quicker. As long as you're, efficient. But like I had a 4-man ship. I think that boat was allianced with the 4-man ship. They had to have been. But I had a 4-man ship like interrupt me fighting another boat. I outmaneuvered them and everything. It's just you can't get away from them. Even if you take them into the wind, they're gonna be just like as fast as you. It used to be that if you were the smallest ship and you were driving into the wind, you were the fastest boat in that particular scenario. I think they changed it. True. There's ways to, like, I know how to protect my boat from getting boarded, but if you are steering, bucketing, trying to fire back, and repairing, you're inevitably going to get taxed in that sense and get behind. If you use like the blunder bomb, it's like a grenade that shoots like a shotgun almost. It knocks people off of your ladder. That's like your best friend in any PvP scenario. Even like I can win 2v1s. It's just difficult because you have to be on their ship making sure they're not repairing while your ship is safe. I think people don't understand how hard it is to sink another boat until you've played Hourglass, which is like you queue up 1v1, 2v2, and it doesn't end until one of them sinks. The meta too, Jamerson, is like, especially in 1v1s, you don't repair. You go down, you bucket periodically, because repairing puts you behind. That was like one thing that like I remember I had to learn as I was like doing those battles. I'm happy I don't have to do those anymore though, because that's where all the cheaters are. That Kangaskhan. Well, that's when you're going to get boarded or take more damage, or your ship is going to be like crashing into something. But the meta in the 1v1s, a lot of times, they would steer their boat away and just keep firing themselves off in the cannon and just try to... They spawn camp you and drive you out of the designated circle where your combat is. So if you were able to successfully defend your boat while putting some holes on theirs, you won. But it made it really difficult, because that's like when a lot of people were just using just straight cheats to like be on your boat. Pretty much. Like last stream, I filled up a boat. We had a goal. I was like, okay, I'm sick of being at a disadvantage every time I'm in these fights. So I filled up a rowboat with like 20 powder kegs, and I hitched it to another boat, an unsuspecting one, and I just set it off. And the dude was anchored. His boat flew like 20 feet from where he was anchored. It was the funniest thing. And it was probably so loud from his perspective, just like loading up his boat. I unhitched from my ship from like a distance behind a rock, and I just rowed over to him. Yes, you can hitch your rowboat to another person's boat, which I wasn't entirely sure that you could, but you can. And then I just set off the powder keg. I watched him. It was like a fresh boat that just spawned in. I just wanted to do it. I wasn't really trying to like achieve anything other than that. But like watching the sheer panic after the explosion went off is worth it every time. The meta used to be running double gun so that they can switch weapon, shoot pretty much like in 1 second. But lately people have been switching back to sword, so I have to get reused to that. Because like I've been playing against so many double gunners that like my playstyle is not suited for like people using swords now. Yeah, people. There's the highest powder keg you can get is the Athena one, which setting that off on someone's boat is already just pretty irresponsible because it sells for a good amount of money, gives you a lot of rep. But I've done it before. If that goes off, it's an instant sink. There used to be a voyage during an event where you could get one of those every time, but it's really difficult to find now. And then there's Stronghold kegs, which is the second highest. Still pretty potent. Well, I don't think you can survive that explosion on a ship at all. Even on the biggest ship. Because, like, the explosion is so big that, like, it insta-kills anybody near it. I remember one time, like, the game will teleport you if you get stuck. I jumped to load it onto my boat, and it teleported me, so it drops whatever's in your hands, and then the ship clipped it, and then it blew up. My ship was gone. Oh yeah, you can't, like, ideally when you set off a keg on an enemy ship, you want to survive to make sure it sinks and, like, pressure them to not repair. But when that goes off, everyone dies. So, like, they'll probably recover when they respawn, but it's hilarious. And you want to set it off near, like, if you're doing it on a smaller ship, you want to set it off right in front of the stairs so that the mast goes down too. He sank instantly? I guess a smaller boat will fill up pretty quick. Because it's max hulls. You take on more water if your ship is moving. See, the guy I set it off on, it only damages the back of the boat, and it's the midsection on the small boat, and he wasn't moving, so he didn't instant sink. I would have been better off setting off the rowboat, just like ramming it into their boat, because it would have did more damage. I don't know why I'm sleeving this, but why not? I'll do one more stream of these breaks just to feel it out, but we'll probably switch it up at some point next week. If you can play the game solo, and like the way that I learned was playing the Hourglass, you become a different level of player. Then like I can take a 1v2. I just have to get used to the meta again of, because my cannon fire was on point. I one-balled like where you hit them in the head with the cannonball while they're on their cannons. I did that multiple times at like pretty solid range. So like I didn't lose any of that. What's up, Eon? They have like different cannonballs too. So like if you take out a ghost fleet, you can get these like spectral or wraith cannonballs. If you hit someone's boat with that, you get like almost max hulls. So I completed one of those and rolled up on somebody who was camping a fort that I was trying to do. Once I hit him with 2 of those, he didn't play the game anymore. He hopped off his boat and just watched it sink. Rust is going to add pirate ships. I feel like Rust is, like, I tried getting into it. It's just not for me. I didn't like the gameplay compared to DayZ. That's another thing I would do when I was farming the Hourglass. You could just you could just scuttle your ship and it'll give you a new outpost every time you do it. And you fill up your personal inventory with all the special cannonballs that you could find. If you take those into Hourglass battles, you almost always win. You hit someone with an anchor ball, it's over. Or like the poison or the sleep. They have grenades now that'll spawn skeletons and fight for you. Like you could throw those on enemy ships. I'm curious to see how bad the cheating is, even though I know how bad it is. But maybe next stream I'll do Hourglass for the Reapers, because I already have Athena's maxed out, level 100. I probably already know how it's going to go. That's where all the cheaters are. But I try it out, see how bad it really is. Like, I'm talking every single cannonball doesn't only hit the boat, it hits you. Like, they have, like, that level of cheats. What anti-cheat they use, whatever that one logo is, it's like a bear cub. The one that doesn't work. The one that doesn't work, yeah. So, like, mostly all of them. People are just fed up in general with any sort of shooter. If they're not cheating themselves, they just don't play the game. And I don't blame them. I'm kind of, like, in the same boat. At least it hasn't bled over to, like, the open world yet. Even though last time I played, that's what made me stop playing. But it would appear that, like, it's calmed down in the open world. From what I can see. I remember one issue I had when I was streaming the Hourglass battles. I had stream snipers. And I in no way would, like... I don't even have, like, my real name showing in game. It's just like a random, like, default name that they put in. So that means, like, they're looking through Twitch for people to stream snipe. Solid break. Guys, thank you for filling up these 3 breaks. I know it's not an ideal setup for this week, but we toughed it out. We did it. I appreciate all of you. Stream sniping a solo. A lot of them lost because they weren't that good to begin with, but it's still annoying. Thanks for streaming it. Thanks for being here tonight. How about that? Everyone who participated tonight, thank you. I appreciate you. Have a safe 4th. Don't blow any fingers off. Don't set the house on fire. And have fun. I'll see you guys Sunday. And back here Monday. And Jamerson, don't be a stranger, my guy. I always enjoy having you in here. Just even if you're hanging out. Doesn't mean you have to be in a break. But love you all. You're all beautiful. Yeah, you do.